Hey everybody, how's it going today? It is me, Captain Energy, and today we're taking a look at the Yamaha CS6x, and I'm going to show you today how to edit a patch right on this unit. Now, we've done a little bit of experimenting with this device already. We've done some patch editing using MidiQuest, which is the software I just started using last week, and that is pretty awesome. But in some cases, you're not going to have software with you. You're going to need to edit a patch or create a patch, or maybe you don't have a computer at all with you. Maybe you just want to learn how to do this because you want to know how to do it on the actual unit. And I don't discourage that kind of learning. I think it's great to know your machine. It's great to understand what you're doing and how to best use your synthesizer. Because the more you know about using it, the more you're going to be able to get out of it. This unit I have had for since it was new, since the 1998, 1997, in that neighborhood, and I still feel like there's stuff to learn. I mean, that's just the way it is, you know? If you're in deep, you're in deep, you know? You love what you do, and you do what you love, and that's it. And that's, for me, what synthesizers are. But the only thing, though, is that when you have multiple machines like this, not the same machine, obviously, but different machines, and everyone has their own kind of way of editing, it can be cumbersome. It can be a lot to learn, and that's where products like MidiQuest come in, because they take the variances out and they make it a unified editing environment. But in some cases, you won't have that. So let's get into this and take a look and see what we've got here. First, I made this patch earlier with the first attempt at this video, but I actually had a problem with batteries and the video did not get recorded right. So we're doing this again. So I've put a lot into this already, and I'm about to put a lot more into it to get this done. So please do me a favor, like and subscribe to the channel. It's right down the bottom there. I'd really appreciate it. It would really help me out. Share this with a friend. The editing techniques I'm going to show you in here apply to all Yamaha synthesizers of this generation, basically CS1X, CS2X, CS6X. Even the motifs and montage do the same type of way of building patches. So this kind of applies across the board. Let's just take a look at what we've got here, and we'll figure this out. Okay, now on Yamaha synthesizers, most performances have 4 layers. At least in this generation. They added more. I believe the montage can have up to 16. It might be 8, but it's not important right now. But right now, if I wanted to go ahead and edit a voice, what we'd do first is I'd press voice, which would get me into my voices, and I would want to be on my external voices, which to do that, I'd press EXT right here. All right, which I'm already there. Okay, so you get this island on 14. Now, if you don't have a blank slot, and you would know this, I'm going to go to the next step here, 15, where it says init voice. That means that there's no patch here. It's right now default grand piano with nothing special about it. It's not even, doesn't even have the attack envelopes edited or anything. It's just real flat. If you don't have any like that, and all you've got is things with patches on it, all you've got is patches, you're going to need a place to create a new patch. So what I would recommend is find one you don't like. Usually I can find one up at the top or somewhere, maybe anywhere. There could be one that you don't like. If there's one you don't like, what you do is go job, okay, and I would go right here to initialize voice, and I would pick what voice I wanted to flatline type thing, because basically you're going to delete this voice. If you don't have one right there, if you're not on one, find one that you don't like or don't want to keep, wherever it is. We've got a few on here that I could get rid of. Anyway, let's go back to where I'm looking for. 80, 15, boom. And that was initialized already. But I'm just going to hit job, and I'm going to initialize this voice just for fun, just to show how it's done. So it says current voice. I want to initialize that. Press OK. Oops, press enter, sorry, and it'll say, are you sure? Yes. I hit yes. And now it formats that voice, and you would be left with a regular piano sound. Press exit to get back to the main menu there, and here we are, init voice, and with a blank sound. All right, now, next thing you want to do is tap edit right here. If you're using a CS6R, not a CS6X, you don't have these buttons over here, okay? So the way you navigate to change these values, actually, let me explain that first. If you look at these values here, all these buttons have a letter above on the first row, and then numbers 1 through 16 on the program parts. You have your banks and your program parts, okay? Well, when you're editing sounds, we're not looking at these A through A1 through 16 or B through H, A through H and 1 through 16. We're not looking at that. What we're looking at is underneath. You'll see 1, 2, 3, 4 element select, 1, 2, 3, 4 element on off. General, QED, arpeggio, control, these, all what's underneath here is what we're looking at. I'm still going to refer to them as the A through H and 1 through 16 button, just because that's what you'll see first, and it's quicker to do. Like if I say press the button 12, because I want you to go to amplitude, I'll tell you it's amplitude, but 12 is what I want you to press, just because you'll think that way faster. But now you won't have these buttons on the CS6R, that's what I was saying. So how do you get to those sections? Well, on the CS6R, what you would do is you hold down Shift, and then you turn this knob right here, the page knob, and it will bring up this menu. Okay, and on this menu, it has all the different names. The General, QED, ARP, CTL, which is control, LFO, which is a common LFO. There's EFF for effect, and then oscillator, pitch, filter, amplitude, LFO, and EQ, which are the second row of buttons. What it doesn't have on here is the PLG, the plug, which we don't need to worry about that right now. But if we did need to worry about it, we could get there. We're not doing anything with plugins on this one. And I only have one plugin on here. I have the voice harmonizer, the vocal harmonizer, so I don't think that will be super useful to do much with as far as, a video. Maybe we'll worry about that later. So here we are. We're at the main menu here. We're at A15, as I said. That's my sound. Yours could be any number, whatever it is, wherever your sound is. What we need to do now is, oops, bumped into my system, got myself out of there. What we need to do now is be in General, which is the first. Again, if you hold down Shift and turn, see where it says General, you want to be right there. Boom. Let go of Shift, and it'll take you right there. Turn your page. We want to look here first. It's a polyphonic sound we're making. Microtuning is available, but I'm not going to use that. Okay. And what we want to get next is I'm going to go for the oscillator. So hold down Shift, turn the knob till it says OSC, and you'll see right here it says EL1 dash dash dash. EL means element. Okay, so that's your first element. There are 4 layers or elements in each sound. Okay, it could be element layer. I'm not sure how they refer to it, but it's an element basically. Right now it's on piano. There are 479 sounds on the Yamaha CS6X. All these sounds, they're a huge variation of sounds. You can get pretty much, nice organs. There's a bunch of pianos. There's clavs. Okay, there's gospel type sounds. These are different types of percussion. Okay, but you got to pick your bass sound. So basically, what we want to do is we want to find what is going to be our bass sound. And in this case, I'm going to build the sound that I built earlier, which was an island type sound, like an island steel drum kind of sound, which was on 333. I'm just going ahead. I only know this because I remembered it from earlier, and the number 333 just stuck in my brain. There we go, steel drum. Now it sounds pretty basic right now. We've got one layer of sound. So there's not a lot going on here. It's just one. You could use this if you wanted to, almost as it is, just a very, very barely changing it. But we're going to do some stuff with it. First, what I want to do is, steel drums don't just die when you stop. They kind of ring a little. So I'm going to go into the amplitude envelope right here. All right. Or you can go in there by shift and going over to amplitude right here. All right. And we're going to go in here and we're just going to click this page knob a few times here. Just turn it to the right. Sorry, it's to the left. Yeah, it's to the left. Sorry, it took me to, I wasn't sure where I was on it. I thought it was further. All right, there we go. And now you can turn this up just a little. See, that sounds much different and much. Before it was just kind of, and now I just give it a little more release. All right. So amplitude does a few things. You can, let me go back a little here. We can adjust the attack. If I turn the attack up, it comes in smoother, like almost like it's bowed or. All right. We can turn the decay up. And the sustain is already up. And this would hold on. Or I could turn these down. And we could kind of cut it off. I'm going to put them back up. All right. Let's go further here. We have a few other things here. We have this right here's init on attack. Kind of tells how hard of a transient you're going to get when you. All right. If I crank it up, you'll see this. Turn that down. We don't want. All right. Now we can change a few other things here. If I hit pitch, you'll see that now. Turn left here by just a smidge. And we should see, there it is, couple clicks back. Now we have this adjustment where we can change the coarsely tune or fine tune this sound. So if I want to have this lower, I'm going to leave it where it was because it sounded fine the way it was, but all right. What we can do now is I can take this, I can fine tune this slightly high. Just a little bit. Now when I bring in the next sound, I'm going to tune that the opposite direction of this one, and they will kind of rub against each other. It will widen the whole thing a little bit. All right. You're wondering why I'm saying that I bring in another sound. It's just kind of a layering type thing to give it a little more body. Let's go up here a little more. And right now we don't need that. Here is my filter. All right. Now here I can choose one of a bunch of different filters. I can't remember the exact number, but there's a ton of them. Bring it up just a little there. All right. Now, one thing we have here beside that is that we have, well, I'm not going to use the LFO yet. I was going to say we have the LFO here, but actually we don't need that yet. I'm going to bring that in later on. Right now, we need another sound to go with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a second element. To do that, we hit oscillator, okay? And you can see right now oscillator 1 is 333. I'm going to go to oscillator 2. To do that, I'm going to just press B right here. Or if you're using a device that doesn't have the buttons, you can use this little knob right here and just move over to the second layer, okay? So your second element. And now you'll see that it says it's off. So let's go over here and find a sound that works for this. I think we want some kind of percussion-y. That might actually work. Let's use that. All right, that's an anvil type sound, which is number 362. Now it sounds nice, it just needs a little bit of work here. So let's go over to the amplitude envelope again, sorry. And we're just gonna try I'm going to take this, take some of the edge off of it. All right. All right, a little bit of tweaking there. Now, if you don't like the sound, feel free to do what you want with it. I'm just trying to make something that I'm pleased with. If you would like something different, don't be afraid to experiment. All right, so I just hit pitch again. And now here we are, back in the pitch. I'm going to tune this just a little, because this sounds nice, but I think this one... see, it's turned down. over here to filter. Trying to find that there we go. So let's go back to the oscillator here, and we're going to go to the right one on the page, and we're going to go to insert, and we want this to have insert 2. The reason I'm using insert 2 here is because insert 2 has some really nice delay type effects. The delay you're seeing right here where it says delay 0 is actually a kind of an attack delay, where I can tell it to bring the sound in after. Which you can do some pretty cool stuff with. But we don't want that right now. Not for this. Now here I went to the next page here. This is pan. Here we can change the pan of either sound, any of the sounds, or I can turn this alter up, which is alternate, and I can tell it which has a really nice effect with this sound, because you can feel the main sound in the center. You can hear that. All right, I'm gonna leave that on. All right, and now let's go over to the effects, just right here, and you can see effect 2, which is what I want to use, says through. If I go back one on the page here, I have an effect 1, which is off also, but I want to go to 2, and we're going to turn this one on, and we're going to go with, we want just delay. There we go. And let's all right, and we're going to turn the wet up a little bit. All right, let's go inside. We're going to edit this, and we want and what I'm going to do next, let's see, control type. Leave that on normal. I'm going to turn the feedback down. All right. And let's just go back here. We're going to turn the wet down a little bit. Might be a little bit much. I'm not sure I really like that effect. Let's go out back a little bit here. There we go. All right, right, and let's go to the filter on 2 and it's always a little bit of experimenting here. You can hear it there, but it's kind of faint. If I want to hear just the sound, I can turn off the first sound right here by hitting E, and you'll see now that 1 has a star on it. You can hear it, but it's not a it's not a bass layer type sound. All right, now let's add one more layer to this. I want something that's kind of a synthesizer, and you're gonna let me have a little more something to play in the background. Maybe something string related, or go to C. We're going to the third layer, and here we go over. I'm gonna grab this knob right here. We're just gonna look for something with maybe a saw. That's like an Oberheim type string. Yeah, we'll use this. We'll use this for this one. All right. I haven't used this in any of my. I haven't used this in the demo previously, so we're going to go with this. All right. And what we want to do first is go to our amplification envelope, and we're going to turn the attack down, or up, I should say, so it has a little smoother of an intro. And let's go to the release, because we want this to have a little bit of a tail to it. Okay. All right, now we're going to go to filter, and we want to cut out some of the some of this sound. We don't want all that to get through. So let's go and kind of like that. All right, now that we have that figured out, let's go and look at some of the other things we've got here. Since we've got this like long sound here, I want to use something to give that a little variation. I don't want that to just be played like out like that. So I'm going to go over to LFO. Now we're still on the third layer here. So at LFO right here, and you'll see now we have these 3 different types of LFO. I'm going to click to the left here real quick. I want to double check something. Okay, yep, we're on triangle wave. And then that's the end of the case. So right there is where I want to be. So we have a couple different kinds of LFO here. We have saw, triangle, and square wave. Okay. Now if I go over to the next screen here, click 1 to the right, and I pick, we'll go with amplification. Okay. I'm just going to turn this up to something obnoxious for a second so we can hear it. That's a little ridiculous, but now let's turn this down so we can give it a little bit of feeling without being too much. And now we'll go over here. I'm going to turn the speed down. You can still hear it. It's just not as much. Now I can go here. I can use the filter if I want to. And if I want to also do pitch. Not that I'm doing pitch, but you get the idea. I could throw just a pinch of pitch. right, now let's go back over here for 1 second. I'm going to turn key sync off. See, if I have keysync on, this is interesting to me because keysync off keeps them together. Keysync on lets them each be individual per key. And I think that kind of sounds messy. That's my opinion, but you know, do what you want. And then here we go. Now we're into the EQ, which at the end we have some EQ that we can play with if we want to. We can go for a parametric EQ. I can never speak. All right. I'm going for the just low high EQ right now, but I can take this and we can go, let's boost some of the low end here. Just trying to sweep to find what I'm looking for here. All right, and now finally we have the, let's go back to effects over here for a second. And we're going to go to our regular, these are our regular effects, the chorus and reverb here. And I'm just going to go ahead and give these a little bit of let's go in and edit that just a little bit. All right. Well, I think we have a pretty good sound there. There are a few things we didn't go over, but they're not necessarily something that you would go into every single patch and do. For example, controls, you could go here and you can modify the way that your patch responds to controls. Let's see what else we got here. We got a common LFO, which this would affect everything. And you can adjust the phase also. But let's see here. So if I went over here and I said common LFO, I want to, let's see, we're going to adjust the panning. And you can hear that. Or I could change it to frequency modulation. We could just add like a little pinch of that to give it a little, breathe a little life into it, you know? There we go. Destination 1, destination 2. I can have two different LFOs in here. So I could say that, and we could go also, let's see what we want to mess with here. Play with the panning a little. Turn the depth way down on that. All right. We only used one of the two effects, but there are two. There's effect number 1 also, which is basically we have some chorus, less, tremolos, overdrive, compressor, and enhancer. We're not going to use any of these though right now. All right, so we got delay set up. Here is my reverb and chorus. Here's well, that's basically the sound I wanted to create here. Let's go to general here for a second. Now what we need to do is we need to give this thing a name, because, you know, obviously every patch can't leave them all named init voice, because you'll never know what you're looking for. So I'm going to hold down shift real quick, and we're just going to roll this data wheel back over here. First we're going to give it a type, and we'll call this a piano type. It's kind of a piano-y sound, right? And I'm going to go right over here to the first space, and we're going to call this Island 2, because the first one was my first islandy drum. So I'm just going to go right here. I is already there because init. So next, S, L, and we're using shift and data wheel to go forward on the letters here. Oh, that's H. Sometimes H and N look the same when with the blinking cursor going on, you know. Let's just turn this all the way down off. Yeah, you can also use this rotary knob to move a little quicker if you want. And that off also. And then once we're done there, we just hit store, and it's going to say, do you want to store this patch Island 2 in init voice in patch 15? If I don't want it there, I can move it. I can go right here, and I could go, I want this in some other slot, you know. I can go right here and change the slot. To 16 or something else. Anywhere I want to put it. You can put it in the internal or external. I'm going to leave it where it is. So 15 is fine. We give it a name, Island 2, and I'm going to hit enter. Yes. And now, ta-da, Island 2. And here's Island 1. So yeah, that's what we got. I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you enjoyed the tutorial, if that was helpful to you making patches on your CS6X. Kind of the same process for the CS1X and CS2X. And I will make these patches available to you if you would like them. They'll be available via a link in the description, at least for now. They're probably going to become part of a library of patches that I'm working on. For the CS6X, I'd like to put together a whole bank of sounds to give you guys, or sell, maybe to, you know, subscribers will get it for free for a while, and then it'll go on to like something that'll be like a couple dollars or something. Like I'm not going to, you know, be like $50 for a patch bank. It might be like $1 or $2 on Gumroad. So anyway. Yeah, let me know if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share with your friends, and I will see you in the next one. And if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. I'll be happy to help you out as much as I can. I look forward to talking to you. Have a great day. Bye for now.